coach Troy G. Ford.
Troy, is it fair to say all the penalties are maybe where it started to go a little sideways for you guys this evening?
I thought the penalties tonight were an extension of last night, basically. So you don't have any rhythm when you got to kill that many penalties. So it take you a very short bench, so it takes a lot of guys out of the flow of the game. So that didn't help us.
Joe Piscola was just here talking about how he felt the team as a whole was just a little bit slow mentally, just a step behind. Was that a fair assessment from your perspective as well?
Sure. Yeah, that's fair. No, it's fair. We were just slow. It's the fastest game in the world. When you play it slow, it doesn't favor you.
Go ahead.
At any point, did you consider pulling Brust in favor of Sexsmith?
No, Barry hasn't played. I mean, Tyson, no disrespect to him. He's just not really been a part of our organization. So Barry hasn't played. Like, Barry has to play some minutes. He didn't play last weekend. He got in for a brief little bit there in Lake Erie. I just felt it was important for him to get his minutes. Obviously, he was a little out of rhythm, uncharacteristic of himself. So, no, it didn't enter my mind.
Barry hasn't played a whole ton with regularity lately, but he has had a bit of a tough time winning when he has been in. What have you noticed about him just over the last couple period of weeks here?
It's just a rep factor for me. He just hasn't gotten into rhythm again, and he'll get back into rhythm. Barry's a very good goalie at this level, and has obviously provided us with excellent goaltending majority of the year. So, for me, it's just minutes played. He's just got to get his minutes up, and things will start to fall back into place.
Seemed to be some lineup changes today. Was that injuries or just healthy scratches?
One was basically a healthy scratch. One was kind of a bump. So we're just precautionary with some guys at this point. It's still, early February. We just have to be, our margin of win-loss and room for error is not very high. Like, it's pretty tight for us to be successful. So, when we have key guys that I think have little nicks and bruises, we're going to just be patient with those and kind of figure we get 3 days in before Saturday, so we were patient with one guy.
Is that Walter that's nicked up? Or?
Yep.
Leggio played for the Americans tonight. Was there any difference in the way that your team sort of went to the net? Any offensive strategy changes?
No. He's been a good goalie against us all year. We've had trouble with him. In general, we've played this team pretty well. Tonight it didn't work out as well, but in general we played him pretty well. But I would say he's been the MVP of the series, like whenever games have been played. I thought Leland Irving stole the game in Rochester early in the year, and for the most part I would say that he's been the best player, I think, in all the games, as he's been that good against us.
Troy, can you talk about what was involved with bringing Sexsmith in and when you found out that Taylor was going to Calgary?
Found out last night. Obviously, I have to watch all the Flame games in their entirety, so watched the game and then just dealt with management during the game, and then they made the decision what they were doing and communicate with Danny, and then me and my staff get busy as to who we're going to bring in and how we're going to get guys here, and Jordan Sigalet is one of the main cogs in this area with goaltending. Obviously, he's our goaltending coach, so we were going to bring in another guy, and it didn't work out. And we found out that Tyson was in the area and was available, so we took advantage of that and brought him in.
So Tyson was in the area?
Yeah, he lives in Mission. Yep. So we just brought him in, and I think he's got some other options right now that he's got to look at. So, our situation as it is revolves around what's happening up top, and all they say there is it's day to day. So we expect Danny could come back, or Leland could come back, or somebody's going to come back eventually.
So there's no real timeline with Tyson?
No, there's none.
But he's still on the PTO, right?
As of right now, yeah. As of this second. That may change in 20 seconds. That's the business we live in.
Yeah, no kidding. What are you going to change between now and the games on the weekend?
We have to get some rest. We were sharp-tongued and not sharp play. We had a lot of answers to the linesmen and the referees, and when you take 8 penalties last night and you take 9 tonight, and we had a player just say something to the linesman at the end of the night, and obviously they didn't have any patience, so we had to kill another 20 seconds. that means we're tired. That means we're tired, and we're coming off the road. We have no excuses. Like, the one thing that's great about Abbotsford is we have a chance to embrace the mental capacity that it takes, harder than most players in this level because of the travel. But we finished the break on the road, and we started the break on the road, just as we did in Christmas. And if you remember, when we came home from Christmas, we weren't very good. Like, it's a struggle, but there are no excuses. The good thing about Abbotsford and playing out of this city is that it makes good pros. It'll make them tougher mentally. And for me, we're just very tired. We need to get tomorrow a day off and figure out how to rest ourselves and get some energy, and then come in and have a light workout on Friday. We have to expend ourselves on Saturday and Sunday, not on Thursday and Friday. So that's what we're going to do, is get some rest and kind of regroup here a little bit. And, we get 2 quick home games, and then we got to play Tuesday in Milwaukee and fly all day Monday. So, it doesn't get any easier, but that's all right. That's what, a diamond is created by pressure.
When you look at your goaltending issue, does it give you a sense of personal gratification to the fact that you've got 2 of your goaltenders, number 1 and number 2, with the Flames?
Yeah, it does. I think it speaks to how we play in the last 2 years. I think it speaks to our structure. I think it speaks to, the way the team plays in front of them. Tonight, like, how many times in the last 2 years could you say that, the odd game last year when we were tired and we lost some games here at home 5-0, but in general, like, we've been very fortunate to see good goaltending in Abbotsford over the last couple of years, and even my first year with Jim Playfair. I thought, Leland and, our guys that year put in some good goaltending efforts as well. So I've been very fortunate in this organization.
Last question.
How did you feel about the calls, all the penalties that were called?
I don't know. I have to look at the film. I'm more of a film guy. I have an initial reaction, but my initial reaction never really goes forward until I can see their position on the call. Like, even though there's 2 officials, like, it's all about position. Like, you can't really judge a referee or get on him about anything, but for me, is position. How hard he works to put himself in the right position to make a good call. As far as his choice on the call or what he sees, like, that's his own 2 eyes. Like, I might always see those things differently. But I don't have any, that's not my place in this game to question that. My only question I would have is his work ethic and his position. And when those are intact and I feel he made a different evaluation than I had, well, then I'll just wash it. When I see a positional call where I don't think it's a work ethic position where he's gotten himself in a great spot, then I'll ask him that he's going to have to work a little bit harder to put himself in a good vision spot. Like, that's no different than playing. Like, obviously we didn't work as hard as we wanted to tonight. If we would have been in a better position to deny some of those goals. So it's all about your work ethic and getting yourself in the right spot. And I'll look at the film, but this league is well done in terms of supervision. We had an NHL supervisor here tonight. We get young officials, we get young players, like, they're trying to grow. So everything's equal as far as I'm concerned.